Hi everyone. As I said on a post earlier on, I was going to do more videos, and this is one that's basically is a follow-on from last time regarding joint enterprise. I do hope as many of you as possible have been onto Jengba's website, so you can learn a little bit more about what I went through, about what thousands of prisoners are going through. So joint enterprise, 300-odd-year-old doctrine that was brought out for dueling in the olden days. And our government, many, many years ago, decided we'll bring that back. We'll bring that back for gangs, to eradicate gangs. They banned the gang narrative across major towns and cities of the UK. It's a lazy doctrine. It's a lazy law. It's a lazy charge. Basically, they throw out a net where there's a serious incident, grab as many people as they can, arrest, convict, imprison, without knowing or being bothered to find out who the actual culprit was, the main offender. So quite often, thousands of people go away for long, long sentences for crimes they haven't committed. And I'm talking young people. I'm talking children, 12, 13, 14 years old being given life sentences. And I'm on about life sentences, not 4 years, 5 years in an approved school, life. I've got friends in the system right now who are doing 30 plus years tariffs for joint enterprise, yet they weren't involved. They weren't near it. I've got two friends who were convicted because of a text message who were nowhere near the event, not involved. The text message didn't confirm any involvement. These things are shocking. They're incredible. And this is why Jengba, you can see my wristbands, joint enterprise, not guilty by association. This shouldn't be happening. And I don't want it happening to any young person, as I've said before, anywhere. This could happen in a youth club, an argument spirals out of control. Next minute, multiple children are being arrested. It could happen in a school disco, a school playground. It could happen in a town centre. It could happen anywhere. There's major cases that you need to look at if you want to get involved. There was a massive case in King's Cross where the children were so young in the Old Bailey, the biggest court in the land, that they had to build an extension to the dock. And these young people had to be given cushions to raise them up so they could see into the court. Imagine that. 12, 13, 14 years old, and that's your child, that's your grandchild, it's your niece, your nephew, your neighbour. Imagine if I was your brother, your friend, your neighbour, someone you knew really well. Do you think that would happen to a politician's brother, nephew, niece, sister, mother, friend? Of course it doesn't. Of course it doesn't. Because it doesn't affect that part of humanity. They target what they class as the lesser classes, the easy to convict, the ones who can't get private legal advice, the ones who have to revolve around the legal aid system. Fill the jails. They're not building these big jails for no reason. I've just spent 7 years in the biggest jail in the UK, HMP Berwyn, in North Wales, in Wrexham. Holds 2,106 people when it's capacity. 7 years I did in that jail. It's horrendous in there. The best built prison in the UK, run by clowns. Okay, there's no rehabilitation in that jail. I've got hundreds of friends still in there, disabled prisoners being abused and bullied and victimised and targeted and assaulted. Life has not been given progression. Life has not been put on courses. Prisoners being locked up 22, 23 hours a day with no rehabilitation. A prison that holds over 2,000 can only accommodate education or employment for well less than half, probably a quarter. So imagine that. Your relative goes there 22, 23 hours a day, no rehabilitation. What are they going to turn to? They're going to turn to drugs. They're going to get bored. Things are going to happen. Okay, and that brings in mental health, that brings in disability, that brings in debt, that brings in assault, that brings in all manner of further criminality. So then those people get released back into your communities and everyone's happy, you're all loved up, you've got them home, brilliant. but the cycle has started. Okay? Arrest, court, prison, probation, parole, release, license, breached, back in. It's a cycle. They're not building these prisons for no reason. HMP Berwyn, HMP Fosse Way, HMP Five Wells. Google them. Berwyn cost £250 million to build. Why hasn't that money gone into the NHS? Why have we got the highest reoffending rate in Europe? Because they don't want it to stop. It's money. It's a big, big business. Private prisons make fortunes. Okay, I've spent 17 years in the system fighting them and saying these things. And they targeted me, they bullied me, they victimised me, they assaulted me several times. As I've jokingly just put a post up, I've got more cases on the go than a Heathrow carousel. Let's see what comes back from that. You'll notice I've got my England shirt on. I didn't put the Liverpool shirt on because I thought, I'd get too many smiley faces after the Plymouth game. But all joking aside, joint enterprise can send any one of your family away for a long, long, long time. And they come out middle-aged, disabled, potentially, and broken. Many, many people have come out broken. I'm not broken. I'm determined to make a difference and to change things. As I said before, IPP, that was squashed over a dozen years ago. No, it wasn't. It was replaced with EDS. So basically, they've swapped IPP, extended determinate sentences, and they're giving out 20 years for that, 25 years for that. Where somebody was getting a 2-year IPP and doing 16. I mean, that's horrendous. EDS now. I've got hundreds of friends in prison for EDS. These things that are going on are shocking. We live on an island that is a penal colony now. We've got nearly 100,000 prisoners incarcerated on an island. Think about that. Joint enterprise, 300-year-old. They said in our case, gang narrative. You know what the prosecution's idea of gang narrative was in my case? Because I paid the bills, because the flat was in my name, because the cupboards were full. The electric was always paid, everything, because everything was in my name. I was the gang leader. Yeah? That's how easy you can be convicted under joint enterprise. Okay? A text message, 32-year tariff. That was my friend next door in Long Larton, Category A prison, for a text message. I'll leave you alone for a bit. Stay tuned, there's going to be more.